is Our Eye on the EU, Inter Alia's outlook on EU affairs through different lenses.
The EU wants to accelerate the process of enlargement towards Western Balkan countries.
For 20 years, the EU has procrastinated accession talks with the Western Balkans until the fear of Russia's influence has put the items at the top of the EU's agenda. If the EU does not immediately demonstrate its commitment, the effect will be more nationalistic and autocratic practices in Western Balkans and more disillusionment from citizens.
The strategic urgency of European Union enlargement in the Western Balkans contradicts the application of a far-reaching conditionality mechanism. The EU should increase its investments to support key reforms in priority policy areas in candidate countries and thoroughly monitor the implementation of such reforms.
The Italian government struck a deal with Albania on deporting and detaining migrants arriving in Italy.
This agreement set out an explicit deportation system with detention camps that will soon be turned into jails. Even if the deal is eventually abandoned, it has clearly shown a systematic effort to cancel people's right to dignified existence.
The European Commission was alarmed by the lack of details on how these centers will respect human rights as well as international and EU laws. It is in fact illegal to screen migrants' arrival in the EU or to carry out asylum and return procedures outside of European Union borders.
EU center-left parties failed to find agreement on asking ceasefire in Gaza.
With the massacre of civilians going on in Palestine and with EU's complicity, the so-called European leftist leaders are incapable of agreeing on questions of basic human rights. We don't need humanitarian pauses. We need to stop an ongoing genocide.
Regrettably, European leaders struggle to find a unified stance. Even though humanitarian pauses will not cease the horrors going on in Gaza, asking for humanitarian corridors is still something extremely important and much more realistic.